final score, the Eagles beat down the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it wasn't even close. Cooper Rush and the Cowboys have a decent drive going early on in the game. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson intercepts his pass and takes it back 69 yards for a touchdown. The Cowboys were able to score a touchdown in the first quarter, and then that was it. I mean, the Eagles' defense, I know that we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley all day today, as we should for numerous reasons. But the Eagles' defense yesterday was just dumb. And I use dumb in a loving way. Like, it was ridiculous how good they were. 4 more turnovers they forced yesterday, following a performance where they forced 5 turnovers the week before, 9 total turnovers. And look at what happens when your offense then capitalizes on the turnovers. Last week, they had 5 turnovers. The Eagles' offense didn't necessarily capitalize. That's why the Commanders were still in the game. That's why the Commanders won the game. The Eagles' offense capitalized on the turnovers this week. That's why it's 41-7. Right? That's why it's not even a contest. That's why in the fourth quarter, you can have everybody sitting. So it was a dominant performance yesterday, and that, first and foremost, should be celebrated.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody not to go wild today. Like, this is as much as you should have celebrated all year what the Philadelphia Eagles accomplished yesterday. And there's more to celebrate, like you bring up. It was Cooper Rush and nobody to throw to, and Rico Dowdle, and a team that flat out stinks. And I'm not taking stuff away from, like, the Eagles' defense overall. We needed to see that performance after the game against Washington because some people got nervous. And that was we're still nasty on the defensive side of the ball type of game. Now, there's tougher competition that you're going to face in the postseason, obviously. The Eagles have shown on the defensive side of the ball they're up for that task when they play tougher competition. So yesterday, amazing effort by them against a pretty bad offensive unit. But we know they can do that against great teams too.
I saw Cooper Rush playing better the last couple of weeks. That's what I kept on being told. I was told not to be too chesty. Our own John Kincade was saying this is very reminiscent of the Saints game a couple years ago. Nah, man, I knew that defense was going to bounce back yesterday, and they made easy work of the Cowboys. And then, of course, on the offense, Kenny Pickett, good job. See what happens when you have a full week of preparation. The Kenny Pickett hatred that he received last week, totally unwarranted. The guy comes into a game cold in the first quarter, throws a touchdown pass, throws an interception, just like most backup quarterbacks would do. He put you in a position to win. If Devontae Smith doesn't drop the catch, the Eagles are still fighting for the 1 seed. He drops the catch, they end up losing the football game. He had a full week of preparation as the starting quarterback. It was a little shaky at the beginning, and then he settled in. And probably nerves, right? He had family coming into town. He was going up against the Cowboys. Everybody talked about it. The hometown kid that could win the division. Once he settled in, he was good. And then he got hit by Micah Parsons. And then Tanner McKee comes out there. And at that point, they're up so big, they just have to run the football. But how about McKee? 3 of 4 with 2 touchdown passes. The first quarterback in NFL history to have thrown 2 touchdown passes with less than 5 pass attempts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The quarterback factory is alive and well. There was a little bit of downtime in the industry of the quarterback factory. Had to lay off some of the line workers. Yes. But now everybody's back. We are back and rolling, producing at the quarterback factory. Now listen, it's nice to see for Tanner McKee. I'm happy for him. It's nice to see for Kenny Pickett. I'm happy for him. Hope the ribs are all right when everything's all said and done because we got to figure out who's taking snaps Sunday because it won't be Jalen Hurts. But nope. Bottom line, you still have an elite-level quarterback that's coming back in Jalen Hurts. It's going to be ready to play for the postseason. So we're not going to do any who should it be. We're not going to do any who should the backup be. The depth chart is what it is. It's just really nice to see, and that's credit to one man. Kellen Moore did an incredible job of putting together an offensive game plan yesterday to put those guys in position to be successful. That was the best coached offensive coordinator game of the year.
That was the... Okay.
Yes. Dude, you put up 40 with your backup and third-string quarterback. This isn't, hey, Jalen, hey, let's run some read options and stuff like that. Kellen Moore, don't let it be lost. He had to do an incredible job coaching against one of his old teams to put together a game plan that could allow them to have that type of success on offense.
It was a good game plan. The best of the season?
Absolutely. To do that with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee is incredibly impressive.
You just tell me about how the Cowboys offense stinks.
Yes, and I'm talking now about the Cowboys defense.
The Cowboys defense also.
They have Micah Parsons. They have Deron Bland. They have some solid players out there.
Bland's overrated.
Got a pick.
Yeah, he stinks. That whole team stinks.
Right.
That whole team stinks. But the Eagles win big, and look, and now we get to celebrate a 41-7 victory over the Dallas Cowboys, the most irrelevant rivalry in all of sports right now, this most overhyped rivalry. And I say that because it's true, because the Dallas Cowboys stink. And so there's no relevance to the rivalry. It was just more fun for us yesterday to watch them beat up on the Cowboys. But I know Fox tries to, they love it when the two teams are good, right? They need, because they set it up. It's usually both America game of the week. One's a Sunday night game. The other one's the America's game of the week. And originally it got flexed to the 1 o'clock game. But because the Cowboys stink so much, it was not worth it. So they moved it up to 1 o'clock, which we enjoyed because we like to get the days done a little bit earlier, Connor.
Absolutely. That was nice.
So good win for the Eagles. So now let's get into what will end up being a debate all show today, I'm sure all week long, especially when Nick Sirianni speaks more as the week goes on, when other players speak more as the week go on, and when, reporters are starting to get little juicy details coming into the locker room. So Saquon Barkley, again, first and foremost, congratulations to Saquon Barkley on an incredible feat. Let's just say right away, 2,000 yards is 2,000 yards. I don't care if you finish with 2,000 even, or if you are going for Eric Dickerson's record. 2,000 yards is 2,000 yards, and he surpassed that yesterday in that game against the Cowboys. 31 carries on the day for 167 yards. That's 5.5 yards per carry for a guy that has done even more than anyone could have expected when the Eagles signed him during this offseason. And so he's ridiculous yesterday, right? Starts off a little slow. I think at one point he was like 18 carries for 60 yards, which is still a normal day for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And then he goes, hold on, let me be really, really good over my next 13 carries. I'm going to finish with over 100 yards more. He has 167 on the day. He surpasses 2,000 yards. And now he's $100. He's 2 yards away, 103 yards away from Eric Dickerson's record. Here's the deal, guys. And we're going to do this all day. And I have prepared statements ready because I was attacked on social media yesterday, and I understand why. People were fired up and in their feels, and it was a celebratory day. There's no way he should play on Sunday. None. There's no way that a lot of guys should play on Sunday. When the Vikings win yesterday against the Green Bay Packers, it locks the Eagles in as the 2 seed. There's no moving up. There's no moving down. And now with Saquon Barkley past 2,000 yards, which is amazing, but still 100 yards away from Eric Dickerson's record, and I don't care how bad the Giants' rush defense is, he's not going to do it in the first quarter. He's not. It would take into the second quarter or into the third quarter. And at what point are you really willing to risk something bad happening for a record? And I understand the record is really cool, and it's cool for Saquon. It's cool for every member of that offensive line. That's not being diminished. I'm not saying it isn't cool. I think it's freaking awesome. But when it comes to the big picture, what does it really matter? It matters nothing. The Super Bowl is what matters.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you there. And the toughest thing about this, right, if it was 40 yards, go get it. The problem is you just don't know where the drop-dead point is. And if you put him on the field at all, then you get roped into he has this many yards. He's this close. Do we try one more time? Karmically, it doesn't feel like the right move, right? You talk about logic, and logic is against playing Saquon Barkley, or really any starters in Week 18.
Right.
But you're playing a team that is very, very eliminated in the New York Giants, a team that feels a certain way about what they've seen Saquon do. And I'm not saying anything like, the Giants would intentionally try and hurt Saquon. But there are players out there that are playing for nothing on the other side of the ball. And I do not like that spot for any of the starters. I do not like that spot for Saquon Barkley. And we are still going to remember in 50 years the 2,000-yard season that Saquon Barkley put together. And we are not going to remember, he isn't the all-time rushing leader, so that season wasn't really as good as we remember. No, this is the greatest running back season in Eagles history by a wide, wide margin, and it will remain that even if he sits next week, so he sits.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video, and remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.